How's it going, super friends? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Brad, the DC Universe Geek, and today I just wanted to share with you some images that have me incredibly stoked. You know, it wasn't that long ago that Mafex decided to throw their hat into the ring and create 6-inch scale action figures based on iconic DC Comics storylines. Storylines like The Dark Knight Returns, or Batman Hush, or even what we know is coming, The Death and Return of Superman, as well as Batman Nightfall. Now, with the Dark Knight Returns figures being revealed one by one, the first one being Batman, then a Joker was revealed, there's an Armored Batman that was revealed, a Batman Carey Kelly 2-pack that was revealed, Dark Knight Triumphant. Now, when they revealed the Armored Batman, I said to myself, absolutely there will be a Superman. There has to be. That's why Batman is wearing the iconic armored Batsuit. He wears it specifically to fight Superman. So if they're making the armored Batsuit, then it's entirely plausible, nay, likely, that a Superman will eventually be revealed. Well, fast forward to the present, and yes, Superman has been revealed. And because the images are from their actual website, I wanted to share them with you. Let's go over them very briefly together. So image number one is the one that would just sell me if there were no other images, just basic Superman standing, fist clenched, arms at his side, cape draping down to his ankles. I love the color palette for this figure. The lighter blue is definitely up my alley. He's big, he's bulky, and he's going to fit right in with the rest of your Mafex Dark Knight Returns figures. Personally, I feel like this figure could also double as the replacement for the Hush. Not that the Hush figure's bad, but a lot of people don't collect an entire Mafex line of figures. They just wanted the Superman. And when they got the Superman home, they felt like he was not quite bulky enough. Well, maybe this Dark Knight Returns Superman would tickle your fancy and you could sub him in as your 6-inch figure. Depending on the artist that's drawn him over the years, he has been drawn bigger and bulkier at times, and other times more slimmed down. What I'm saying is, I feel like the appeal of this Superman figure could go beyond people that are looking to make a collection of Dark Knight Returns figures. You could sub him in as just your Justice League Superman figure as well. Image number two is just as iconic, still just the hands at the side, but the one thing we get a little bit of a glimpse of is the fact that that spit curl on the front really sticks out, which is exactly what the original artwork depicts. A massive, exaggerated spit curl just sticking off the front of his head, and this image does a great job of showing that. You know what? Why don't we bring up the actual head sculpts too, and get a close look at both of them? There's the basic head sculpt, looks fantastic. The sculpting looks really good, and the paint, if what we're seeing is what we receive, looks like it's going to be on point. The eyes look really nice and expressive. And then we have that other beat up face sculpt on the other side, the one that's worse for wear, the one that has clearly seen some shit. And that's because this image here shows him holding that kryptonite arrow, an iconic image. So we know he's going to come with that kryptonite arrow to go with his beat up face. As a side note, I don't think that I'll be posing him pretty much ever with the beat up face. In the video, yes, for my review, definitely. I know there'll be some of you folks who switch up your dioramas and your displays from time to time, and having that armored bats first and then getting the Superman, this is going to be a dream come true for you to come up with that ultimate Batman v Superman Dark Knight Returns action scene up on your shelf. You could pose him with Batman having his boot right on his face. Who knows? For myself, I'll probably just pose the figure with the regular face sculpt because that one does it for me. That one's okay. And then we get a reverse view of Superman where we can see the cape draped over his shoulders, looking very regal and very Superman capely. I love the fact that clearly there's going to be A, a lot of it, and B, it's wired. So, and if there's any questions, this image here, Superman kind of in another iconic Superman pose, floating up in the sky there, has the wired cape sort of up. So it shows that this cape will have very good posable options. It won't just be one that hangs down at his ankles, but a wired cape done right is a wired cape worth using. And I think that this may be one of those. Mafex hasn't always done well with their wired capes. There's been times when their wired capes haven't been designed quite the same way. They're really kicking it up a notch and producing really well done capes at this point. So I'm super stoked about this. And then we have Superman in another just iconic pose, another iconic action pose. We could see that he's going to come with at least one of each sort of open hand. So he's got open splayed fingers and then less open. I think at this point he'll likely come with 2 flight hands, 2 fisty hands, a fist just for holding on to that arrow, I would assume, and then some splayed fingers, and then some slightly less splayed fingers. That's, at this point, what I'm going with for hand accessories. I don't know. There is no image that shows them all. That's just my gut feeling at this point. And then we have an image of Superman in the sky, flying, arms back. Clearly we can see that he is going to have ample posability, just like the Batman figure. If you own the Batman, then you would know that he's going to have ample posability to get him into flight poses. But for those of you who this will be your first Mafex purchase ever, then I do want to set your mind at ease and say that this figure will have all the posability and more that you've ever wanted with a Dark Knight Returns Superman figure. Lord knows the original DC Direct was pretty much a posable statue. Looked great, but very much a posable statue. You couldn't really do much with him. And then the second one in that scale, or 6-inch scale, the DC Direct was 7, but in the 6-inch scale, we had the one that was released from Mattel. Certainly a lot more posable, but others have argued that it too is really just a posable statue because it is also fairly limited in a lot of key places like the knees, elbows, and the ankles, and in the wrists. Well, this one's going to have as much as you need. And let this photo here, another flight pose, be further proof. Now he's flying, and you can see that not only is the waist, the neck, and the torso being used to its fullest extent here, but now his arms are out as well. So this Superman figure will likely be, for a lot of us, the bulky Dark Knight Returns Superman figure to end all Dark Knight Returns Superman figures. I know it will be for me, unless Mezco 1/12 Collective comes out with one that is true to the original artwork to match the original Batman that came out all those years ago. I feel like this will be the Superman from that series. And if I'm being honest, I do prefer a plastic figure with a cloth goods cape over everything else. I'm on the record as saying that in the past. That is really my jam. Cloth goods uniforms are fun, but I prefer a plastic figure with a cloth goods cape. So what do you think? Do you think that this is going to be a fantastic release? Are you excited about it? Are you stoked about it like I am? Or are you just saying, you know what? I'm not going to pay that kind of money for a figure in the first place. Or maybe you were saying, you know, I've seen some reviews of Mafex figures and sometimes they break. I mean, you've seen on my channel, Aquaman broke, but I want to point out that although Aquaman did indeed break at the waist and I had to perform action figure surgery on him, reconstructive, to bring him back to working condition, I will say I do own multiple Mafex DC figures, and that is the only one that's ever broken on me. But that's my time. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a DC day, everybody, and take care.